So most people approaching retirement have a pile of money. Very few of them have an actual plan, and those are genuinely not the same thing. A pile of money is a resource, a plan is a set of instructions for what to do with those resources. Let me show you what the instructions actually look like, okay? Step one is your number, and it's more specific than you think. Not how much do I need to retire, what do you actually spend in a month? And then split that into two categories, right? You've got essential, household, and then you've got discretionary. Essential is the stuff that happens when the market is up or down, right? You need it. Housing, food, utilities, insurance, medicine, taxes. Discretionary, on the other hand, is travel. That's what makes this fun. You know, the boat, the gifts, the going to the country club. Both of them matter, right? But they get funded differently, and that's the whole reason we split them. Step two is your guaranteed floor, right? What income shows up no matter what? Social Security, right? That's for Social Security for your spouse. A pension if you have one, right? If those still even exist. Add it all up, that's your floor. And step three is the gap. And this is the number that the entire plan turns on. You know, take your essential expenses, subtract your guaranteed income, and that's the gap. That's the amount your savings has to produce every single month, reliably, right? Regardless of what is happening in the market. If your essentials are $6,000 and your guaranteed income is $4,200, your gap is $1,800 a month, right? Simple math. That number is the center of gravity for everything else. Step four is the fun part. How do you fill it? And broadly, three ways. You can invest for income and withdraw from your portfolio. You can hold cash and short-term bonds to cover several years of the gap, you know, diversify by liquidity. Or you can contractually guarantee it with something like an annuity. Each one costs you something, right? Any investment you make, you have something to gain, you have something to lose. You're gaining something to give up something else. And portfolio withdrawal costs, it costs you certainty, right? A bad market year means you're selling low. Cash costs you growth. It's stable, but you're giving up growth. A guaranteed income, you know, from like a structured product like an annuity, that costs you maybe upside and liquidity. There is no free version. The right answer depends on how big the gap is, how long the runway is, and how you personally handle a down year. Which is why the fear question I talk about everywhere on this channel actually shows up in the math. It's practical. Step five is the withdrawal order. And this is where a lot of money gets left on the table that I've seen tons and tons of times again. You've probably got money in three tax buckets, right? Taxable brokerage, tax deferred like 401k or traditional IRA, and then you've got tax-free like a Roth. Which one you draw from first changes your lifetime tax bill, and sometimes by a very large amount, multiple six figures. It also changes how much of your Social Security gets taxed. Social Security gets taxed, right? And it changes your Medicare premiums 2 years down the road, right? Nobody likes IRMA. There is no universal right order, but there is a right order for you, and finding it is a big part of what this plan is for. Step six is stress testing it, right? Like, this all looks good, but what happens in the worst scenario possible? And a plan that only works when things are going well, that's not a plan, because things will go bad at some point. So you run it against things that break retirement normally, right? A bad market in the first few years. That's what we call sequence of returns risk. You know, I've got a whole separate video on that. A long-term care event, right? One spouse dying, which drops Social Security check and moves the survivor into a worse tax filing status at the same time. And look, that's a big one. We call it widow's tax. You know, if your plan survives all of those elements, you've got something. And what does the finished product actually look like? It's a document. It says, here's what you spend, here's what your guaranteed floor is, and here's the gap, and here's precisely how we should fill it. Here's which accounts we pull from, and in what order. Here's what we do if the market drops 30%. Here's what we do if one of you passes, right? And statistically, one of you will if you're married. That is a retirement income plan. You know, you've got a pile of money and no document like that. You know, you've got a resource, but no instructions, okay? If you'd like us to build one, the link is below and we'll build it out.